Welcome to Sisterly Sundays podcast, where faith, motivation, and sisterly love intertwine to empower women on their spiritual journey. Join us each week as we delve into heartfelt conversations and share inspirational stories that uplift and guide you through the challenges of life. I'm your host, Dr. Sheniqua Johnson, aka Sheniqua Inspires. Let's get into this week's message. Welcome to Sisterly Sundays podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Sheniqua Johnson, aka Sheniqua Inspires, bringing you your dose of motivation and encouragement to get you through the week. Today's podcast is presented by Stronger Through Faith Media, helping you get your message to millions. Let's get into this week's message entitled Civil War. The Civil War is a known war fought here in the United States when there was an internal division between the Union, also known as the North, and the Confederacy, known as the South. The main dispute was over the evolution of slavery. There was a perceived threat that slavery, free labor, would become extinct. This war began in 1861 and concluded on May 26, 1865. I specifically call out the conclusion date for those historians who are familiar with Juneteenth. This is the now national holiday which commemorates when Texas citizens became aware that slavery had been abolished. Now, this message isn't meant to take us dramatically down memory lane, but in fact to highlight the repercussion of a nation divided. The term Civil War is defined simply as a war between citizens of the same country. Allow me to introduce my supporting point for today's segment. As a Marvel fan and movie lover, I'd love to submit for evaluation Captain America: Civil War. This movie tells the continuing tale of the Avengers. After they battled Thor's evil brother, then Ultron, the evil AI, they conquer evil by banding together. They even mentioned in Avengers 2 that they are willing to stand together, whether in victory or in defeat. Fast forward us now to Civil War. This is the movie where we get introduced to our beloved Black Panther. He's on a quest to avenge his father's death and finds himself battling against the super team. Mind you, everyone's ultimate goal was the same, which was to ensure the safety of the world. Yet in this civil war, we see our heroes fighting against one another. This is what led me to this revelation of our fate as believers. We are all on the same team, yet we find ourselves fighting against one another. Denominations fighting each other, people of the same denomination hurting others in the church. How on earth are we expected to save the world if we have this internal war going on? We even fight people of other faiths. But if we took a moment to open our hearts and our minds and our ears, we would hear we all have one ultimate goal. What a sad fate we face. All because we wish to focus on differences rather than uniqueness. Every one of the Avengers holds a different power that makes them unique. and worthy of their own movie outside of the Avengers. Yet they can still work together as a team. From the advanced brain of one of my favorites, Tony Stark's, to the divine powers of my boo, Thor, they even befriend Vision, who holds one of the Affinity Stones. Instead of fearing or fighting or trying to take it away from him, the Avengers team up with Vision. There's even Wanda, who they all feared at first, but once they realized she had the same ultimate goal, they chose to work with her. You see, people with unique gifts should collaborate rather than compete. We should take the time to learn what others are doing rather than being jealous and in competition. We should be learning and celebrating from our super friends. Even though the Avengers don't always see eye to eye, I mean, we don't expect everyone to see eye to eye all the time. In the end, they always choose to work together. They understood that there is strength in numbers. As believers, how many times have we quoted, when two or three are gathered, there he will be? Well, what are we doing then? There's so much work that needs to be done in this world for the betterment of God's people. Sure, we are individually getting the work done like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain America, and Black Panther. But what a force, a mighty impact we can create when we all bring our uniquenesses together. Any civil war is a recipe for disaster. It's brother fighting against brother. It's blood fighting against blood. This only slows us down, takes us off course, causes distractions from the ultimate goal. Everyone wants to avenge their own agenda these days. And listen, I get it. There are people who have done me wrong too. But do I want to waste my energy, my time, my effort, my energy, my strength, my talent on avenging my ego? Or would I rather help everyone reach the ultimate goal? I don't have time for the tit for tat, the backbiting, the public shaming, or what we know so well now, the social media rants. Sure, it makes for great entertainment, but what do we gain from it? Does it boost your brand? Does it big up your credibility? Or does it just expose your weaknesses? We are all human beings, but with God, we are all superheroes. It's time we unite together and become kingdom avengers. Not Christian or Muslim avengers, but kingdom. That the ultimate goal, we don't have time for the tomato debates. It doesn't matter what your title, you give it. It's the ultimate purpose that positions us to receive his glory. God is not pleased. He's not pleased with all of this civil war that has arisen. He's not surprised, but I believed he hoped we would do better. With all of the gifts and talents he's given us, with all of the miracles, signs, and wonders we've seen, with all of the forgiveness, mercy, and grace that's been bestowed upon us, I think he had greater hopes for us. It's time we start making God proud. It's time our actions show that his life and his death meant something to us. It's time for families to stop battling each other. This one not talking to that one not talking to this one. Even the egomaniacs will have to answer God when the time comes. But now is the time to pray for one another like never before. Pray for one another. Understand and support everyone's unique talents and start aiming towards that ultimate mark. We must be clear on our ultimate goal: peace on earth, goodwill towards man, and bringing glory to the ultimate and sovereign God. Our personal agendas really don't matter. Our personal quests are only part of the journey. In the Marvel movie Civil War, the quote unquote bad guy, who honestly wasn't a bad guy, he was simply the guy who was executing his own personal agenda. He allowed vengeance and the need for it to consume him, as did many of our heroes, Iron Man and Black Panther. Does following your own agenda make you bad or evil? No, only if it consumes you. We all have an equal part to play. Everyone is the supporting cast in this movie called life. Even if you have a small role like Ant-Man, you still play a huge part of the ultimate plan. That quote unquote bad guy contributed a powerful statement. Here's the quote: "An empire toppled by its enemies will rise again, but one that crumbles from within is dead forever." Is it too late for our world? Have we been at war within ourselves for far too long? I honestly believe there is hope. I believe if we truly stop fighting each other, we have a chance to redeem the world. But if we set our sights on the ultimate goal, being the destruction of one another from within, there's no chance for survival. If one loses, we all lose. It's time we start to avenge our world. Be blessed. Are you loving this week's segment of Sisterly Sundays podcast? If so, subscribe and share this message with those who could use a little encouragement to get them through the week. Connect with me on all social media platforms at Sheniqua Inspires. The encouragement continues every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my podcast, The Black Girl Encourage Her. You know, the place where we are delivering the encouragement for everyone. We just so happen to do it from a Black girl's perspective. You can catch those episodes on my YouTube channel, Sheniqua Inspires. And don't forget to subscribe and share.